So, why do you have a financial advisor if you don't take their advice? Well, let's talk about that in the next Wealth and Whiskey video. So welcome to Wealth and Whiskey. I'm Roger Kiger. I've been a financial planner for about 30 years, helping people build their wealth and protect their legacies. Wealth and Whiskey is about talking about some things that sometimes are uncomfortable. Sometimes they're uncomfortable for advisors. Sometimes they're uncomfortable for clients. But that's why we call it aged and unfiltered, because we're going to go there. So this week, let's talk about folks that have financial advisors and they don't take the advice that they get from their advisor. Why would you not take that advice? Well, is the advice not accurate? Let's talk about that. If it's not accurate, are you sharing enough details with your advisor so that they can give you accurate information? Or are you holding some stuff back because you're afraid they might charge a fee or want to try to sell you something? Well, if that's the case, maybe it's not the right advisor, right? You gotta give them the information so they can give you an accurate and a recommendation that's not just accurate, but it fits within your risk tolerance, your comfort zones, your parameters for the goals you're trying to accomplish. That involves a commitment on both parts. If the advisor doesn't know what you want to accomplish because you haven't told them, they're never going to give you accurate advice. Please be upfront and share everything that advisor needs to give you good advice. So that's the first thing. I think the second thing is, do you trust who's giving you the advice? Because let's face it, moving accounts to a different person, or even hiring an advisor if you're doing it yourself, it's kind of a pain in the rear, right? There's paperwork and DocuSigns and signatures and setting up accounts and logins and passwords, and every step takes 3 days, and there's 6 steps in the process. It becomes kind of a challenge to get it all done. But if you don't trust who's giving you the advice, maybe you're leaving money on the table. Maybe you're not doing the things that are the most beneficial for you because you start to blow them off, or just don't call them back, or don't go in for the annual meetings, or you don't give them all the information. All right, so please, if you don't trust the person that's giving you the advice for your financial planning, please find somebody else. It just doesn't make sense to leave it there and not deal with it, because you're the one that's going to end up paying for that one way or the other. And it just doesn't make sense to pay somebody for advice who you don't trust, right? There are so many issues, so many things going on, whether it's investments or estates or tax or insurance or private placements or all these other issues. You gotta trust who's giving you that advice, and you have to be able to communicate with them, because there's just too much going on to not deal with those things. So that's the second thing. I really think the main reason most clients don't take advice from financial advisors is because the things they want you to do are kind of hard, right? That's right. If it was easy, everybody would do it. But I hear it all the time. It's too difficult to cut my expenses. Well, your income has to be more than your outgo. It's pretty straightforward. So either you go make more money or you cut your expenses. And I get it. I've been there. I understand all the pieces with that. Work through that with your advisor. There are ways to do that incrementally so that you get there over time, because your advisor doesn't want you to cut all your expenses and be broke for 3 months and then be so burned out with it that you scrap the plan altogether. That's never the plan. But there are difficult things that advisors are asking you to do. Those should be okay and they should be doable. Otherwise, your advisor is not going to ask you to do it. Doesn't mean that they don't come without some pain. right? If your advisor is saying, well, you need to work a little bit longer or you need to have a little less money in retirement, nobody wants to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to tell my clients that. But you got to have these honest discussions, otherwise the truth never comes out. And frankly, who else can you have those discussions with if you're not having those with an advisor that you really, really trust? And then the other thing that I think is really difficult, and I see this a lot, when I'm meeting with one of a couple, right, and that person says, well, I don't want to talk to my spouse about spending less money, or I don't want to tell my kids that I can't pay for this for them, or I don't want to do these things. Doesn't mean it's easy to have those discussions, but those are all discussions, steps that have to be done to make progress. So please don't disregard those things. Please take the advice from your financial advisor. Let the advisors do their job. That's what they're trained for, it's what they have experience in, and it's what you're paying them to do because they know more about it than you do. Otherwise, you don't need them, right? So, but you got to be able to have those conversations with your advisor about those steps you have to take. And you have to be able to trust and communicate with that advisor. Otherwise, you are correct. Why take their advice? Well, they're not giving you advice because they're planning on it causing harm or detriment to you. They're giving you advice because you've approached them with a problem or a goal or a challenge, and they're trying to help you meet that financial goal. So please listen to the advice they give you. Please take their advice and do the steps that they're asking. Otherwise, what's the point, right? All this stuff is difficult. It takes diligence and patience, and it takes a lot of time. But it's okay. It will make a difference in the long run. So if we can help you start that journey, please download the Legacy Blueprint in the link below. And please like and share our channel. We don't want you to miss any of our discussions on wealth and whiskey. So until the next time, cheers.